Okay, so I'm thinking let's start in our seat, and we're going to start with some pranayama tonight. And I mentioned in my email that I was going to kind of share how to incorporate mantra with pranayama. And so I was thinking that tonight we can do our alternate nostril breathing with mantra. Have any of you guys, just raise your hand if you've done it with mantra before? Yeah, because sometimes that's how I count actually most of the time. So I'll inhale, and I say the Hanuman mantra, but we'll just use our Om Shakti tonight. So I'll inhale to the Om Shri Hanumate Namaha, and I hold for that, and then I exhale for 2, hold the bottom for 1, inhale for 1, hold for 1, exhale 2, hold for 1 at the bottom. That's just how I count with the alternate nostril breathing. Tonight what we're going to do is we're going to inhale Om Shakti, exhale Om Shakti, inhale Om Shakti, exhale Om Shakti, Does that make sense? So it's an even count, but rather than counting 1, 2, 3, 4, we're just giving our mind this beautiful charged mantra to keep it steady instead of just a count. I just think there's a lot of power in that. So you can take your Chin Mudra with your left hand. This is my left. I know it looks different on the screen. And then our right hand, we can be in our Vishnu, or we can have our 2 fingers here at the top, and then our thumb and our ring on the side. So we'll just begin with a breath in. Let's just breathe for a few rounds of breath, and then we'll start a pranayama. So we'll just inhale and exhale. Maybe inhaling Om. Exhale Shakti. Inhale Om. Exhale Shakti. And then let's bring our mudra up to our nose. Get the fingers on the right spot. So we're ready to start. We'll just inhale and exhale. And then we'll close the left, and we'll inhale on the right side for Om Shakti, Om Shakti. Closed right, exhale left, Om Shakti, Om Shakti. Inhale left, Om Shakti, Om Shakti. Close left, exhale right, Om Shakti, Om Shakti. Inhale right, Om Shakti, Om Shakti. Close right, exhale left, Om Shakti, Om Shakti. Inhale left, Om Shakti, Om Shakti. Close left, exhale right, Om Shakti, Om Shakti. One more time, inhale right, Om Shakti, Om Shakti. Exhale left, Om Shakti, Om Shakti. Inhale left, Om Shakti, Om Shakti. Close left, exhale right, Om Shakti, Om Shakti. Then release the mudra. You can keep with your Nadi Shodhana if you want. Just pause. Maybe you continue chanting the mantra in your own space. Inhaling Om. And exhaling Shakti. Connecting with the breath. Just grounding into the space that we're in. Be releasing any tension in the feet, in the low back, in the shoulders, in the face. And we'll just sit in some silence, kind of setting the groundwork for our Yin Yoga practice. Continuing with the mantra if you'd like. Just a few more rounds of breath wherever you're at. And now, as if moving through a dream, we'll come into our first Yin Yoga posture. So from our seated position, we're going to send our legs out long in front. Coming into caterpillar, so our feet are going to be lazy and free. Going to move some flesh out of the way from the sits bones. And we're just going to fold forward, coming into caterpillar. And our goal isn't for our head to be towards our feet, but we're going to round the back with our head towards our knees. Hands can be free on the shins or on the side. So let the feet fall in or fall out. Exhale, sigh to release any breath or any effort. And we'll be here for about 5 minutes, but not focusing on that last second of that 5th minute, but rather just being present right where we're at right now. Knowing that it's normal to fidget or to move around in Yin Yoga. And allow yourself to do so. Maybe bringing awareness along the spine. Releasing any tension in the backs of the legs if we're holding or kind of squinting the backs of our legs. Maybe we bring our awareness to our mantra. Inhaling Om. Exhaling Shakti. Maybe we place our elbows kind of on the inside of the knee or the leg, and we hold our head in our hand. Just allow the spine to round. And maybe at any time through any of our postures, you can allow yourself to lift up and come out. And then find the shape again. Just notice the experience as you start in again. If thoughts come in, just acknowledge the thought. Just offer that thought that you'll come back to it later. Just come back to the moment that we're in right now. Maybe noticing the breath. If we're holding the breath because we feel uncomfortable, we can let out an exhale. Allow the breath to just be. The pose is here to bring us into the body. The body isn't here to bring us into the pose, but rather we just open up our heart to what this little caterpillar, this pose here, this shape has to teach us. Let the poses be messengers to our soul. Now a couple more breaths. Maybe one more round of Om Shakti. And then on an exhale, just walk the hands towards the hips and lift the shoulders up over the hips, the ears over the shoulders. And then let's just mindfully come into our rebound. So maybe we roll over to one side and then come onto our backs and we'll lie flat in our Shavasana. Let the spine lengthen and settle. Maybe closing the eyes. And arriving in our rebound. A couple more breaths in our rebound. Maybe we hug our knees into the chest and rock side to side. That low back, mid back that we just gave some awareness to in caterpillar. And now from here, you have a block handy, find your block. And if you don't have a block, it's okay. I'm going to give some options here. We're going to come into our supported bridge pose. And we're only going to be here for just a couple minutes. It's not going to be a long surrender, just a brief little surrender. We're going to work our way into long surrenders. So with our feet on the floor, and if we have a block, we're just going to lift up the hips. We're going to bring the block just the base of the sacrum, just at the sacrum. One of my teachers says, just right above that little crack that we have down there. So that's the spot. And you can rest like this. Or maybe try bringing the legs out long. You might want to adjust the block as you do that. And let the legs be long, shoulders on the floor. Arms at the side. If you don't have a block, one option is to keep those hips lifted and to just bring the fists just at that sacrum. Keep them lifted. Or you can always roll a pillow. But just lift those hips and try extending those legs long. And close the eyes. We'll be here for just a couple minutes. So maybe we find our Om Shakti. Om Shakti. Exhale. We might notice a little compression on the low back. Maybe we notice the fronts of our legs almost expanding or stretching. Exhale. Always an option to come on to the feet. But just noticing where the mind goes. If we feel a little discomfort, if we feel a little impatient, just notice what comes up. Now one more breath, Om Shakti. And then exhale to bring the feet to the floor, knees to the sky. And now lift the hips, move that block, and then melt down into the earth. Maybe hug the knees into the chest before sending the legs long for our rebound and rest. One more breath in. And a deep, deep breath out. And now mindfully, moving with awareness, let's roll over onto a side. Either side, it doesn't matter, we'll come up to a seat. And we're going to find a really, really, really super duper wide-legged child's pose. If a super duper wide-legged child's pose is accessible. So by that, I mean maybe our knees come way, way out. And you see how, I don't know if you can see my toes are together. Yeah. So my knees are super wide. And I'm going to sit back kind of onto my heels and bring my hands forward. If your legs can't go, knees can't go out that far, just bring them in a little bit, maybe mat distance or just a little bit wider than the hips. And come into your child's pose. Reach those hands forward. And exhale. We'll be here about 5 minutes. And just knowing that if the situation gets really uncomfortable, or just a little uncomfortable, always come up for just a moment, bring the heart forward and sit back. And maybe we notice a different sensation. Knowing that more sensation or more stretch or more feeling isn't necessarily what we're going for. Less is more. It doesn't take much for our fascia to move and those joints to get that sacred hyaluronic acid that juices them up. It just takes time, so we're just going to surrender and rest. Exhale. Our Om Shakti can fill our space. Our forehead can be on the floor. I just kind of keep my head up just to keep an eye, make sure that there's an internet connection or nobody is trying to get into the room. Just offer that head to come down. If the head doesn't come to the floor, maybe bring it to a block even, or even if it comes to the floor, rest it on a block. This pose here, and this shape that we're in, it's targeting a few meridians, but one is those kidneys, that kidney meridian. And the kidneys are that organ, that part of us that's tied to the existential fear that am I going to be okay in the world? So when those are out of balance, if they're excessive, then there's some fear that might almost seem unbearable. If it feels deficient, if it's deficient, it often manifests as a thrill seeker, always living on the edge. But when our kidneys are in balance, we have wisdom and rationality and clear perception. So maybe just inviting that balance into the space. Some clarity. Find the breath. Be with the breath. Again, knowing that it's okay to wiggle. It's okay if you want to lift the heart and the chest forward. And sink back into child's pose. Maybe that seat comes closer to the heels, but it's not necessarily a goal. There's no goal here. There's just being. We're just being with this shape and having a new relationship with child's pose. Now a couple more breaths, maybe 2 or 3 more rounds of our Om Shakti mantra. Now on your next exhale, I invite you to lift the chest, lift the heart. You can come onto your stomach and let your legs be long, or if you want to roll onto your back, you can roll onto your back. But find yourself flat on the floor. And find that rebound and just allow that chi to just flow through the body. Like removing that dam and letting it flow through without obstruction. You close the eye. Now, right where you're at, maybe bring those feet so the feet are parallel with the sky. The knees are bent, and just swing those feet from one side to the next, gentle windshield wiper with the legs. And then we'll bring those legs long, so tops of the feet are on the floor. The toes reach for that back wall. We're on our stomachs. If you're on your back, come onto your stomach. We'll lift the head, and let's bring our hands underneath the shoulders, and then our elbows maybe under the shoulders, or you can bring the elbows forward. We're going to lift up into Sphinx pose. We'll be here for a minute, and we're going to lower down, and we'll come back up. So the chest lifts, the feet reach. You lift the heart, close the eyes. If that compression in the low back feels like a lot, then bring the elbows further in front. Again, this urinary bladder meridian, we folded forward in our caterpillar. Now we're lifting and compressing a little bit in our Sphinx pose. The urinary bladder, this is like the guardian of our kidneys. It's the bodyguard of the kidneys. It's there to protect the kidneys. One more breath in, inhale. Now let's exhale, lower down the abdomen, the heart, the chest. You can bring the hands underneath the head or just come flat. Now one more breath in. And we'll exhale, lift the head, lift the heart. Kind of swing those elbows in. And then lift up, Sphinx pose again. Maybe you want to try seal pose, which is with the arms, rather than having them bent, we have our arms out in front. We kind of press up more. This is more of a yang pose. Much more effort, but it's compressing that low back, which is that urinary bladder meridian. And again, remember that more doesn't always mean better. We're just creating the space for the body. So whether you're in seal or you're in Sphinx, bring that energy in. And exhale. Now one more breath in. And then exhale, let's lower down, releasing our Sphinx or our seal. The head can come to the floor. Breathing into the low and the mid back on the inhale. And exhale. Now inhale and exhale one more round of Om Shakti. And we'll exhale to lift up and come to a seat. Maybe along the way you sit back into child's pose to really lengthen that spine. The hands can reach forward. And then lifting up, coming into our seat. And then we're going to bring our feet wide and be maybe mat distance wide. Maybe you want to bring it really, really far apart for dragonfly. And in Yin Yoga, we don't flex the feet. We let the feet be really lazy. So maybe the feet turn out or maybe they turn in, which is fine, but feels nice for the legs and feels good on the knees. And we can lift our arms up, kind of shimmy those sits bones, feel the ribs, feel the shoulders. And then we'll just bring our arms out, bring the heart forward, and then let the hands come down. And again, we're just kind of rounding the spine, maybe the chin to the chest for our dragonfly. The forehead and the heart. Maybe it's far from the floor or close to the floor. There's no better or best. Maybe find our Om Shakti. Om Shakti. Those kidney and liver meridians on the inside of the leg. The urinary bladder meridian along the spine. All of them getting some awareness and attention here. Just relaxing and surrendering right here. Feeling that wisdom and clarity in a balanced, functioning kidney. That protection and support of a balanced urinary bladder meridian. The creativity of a balanced liver meridian. Or Yin Yoga creates this space of stillness and quiet, where emotions can come up or thoughts can come up. You can just be with those emotions and maybe notice if they're there. We can sit with them. Just be aware. the urinary bladder, assuring those kidneys that we're okay, we're okay. And any anger, frustration, and that liver meridian that might be there, just allowing it to flow and move and loosen in the body. Be channeled into creativity. And the potent force that it can be. Om Shakti. Om Shakti. You can let the head dangle and the chin reach for the chest. Just letting go of the day and just being here right now. Just holding the space for yourself. Just holding yourself. And letting go. And maybe 1 or 2 more breaths. And we'll exhale to press up slowly. Walking the hands back to center. Then we'll bring the legs, the feet in. We bend the knees, roll to one side, and then come into our rebound. So our Shavasana. And exhale and inhale. Just feel that prana in the body. That chi in the body. Just notice the sensation, any sensation in your body that maybe wasn't there before. And if you don't notice anything, that's okay. One more breath in. Exhale, let it go. Now we'll gently roll to one side. And then press up to a seat, and our legs can be out in front. We have some options for this, this shape. So we can keep one leg straight, and I'm not gonna mirror, I'm just gonna say what mine is. So my left leg is long. I'm gonna bend my right, and we're gonna come into half shoelace. So I'm gonna bend my right leg on top of my left. I'll come closer so you can see. So my left leg is long, and my right leg is gonna come on top with my right knee kind of stacked over my left knee. So here's my right knee, and this is my left knee, and they're stacked on top of each other. So it looks like this. Left leg is long, and then here's my right knee on top of my left. So we can come into half shoelace with our one leg long. So my left knee is here, my right knee on top of my left. And if that's not accessible, we can bring a block or we can bring a blanket between the knees. So we can come into half shoelace, let the left foot be lazy. We can walk the hands forward and we fold over that little bundle of legs, those knees. So that's half shoelace, or if we want full shoelace, then we bend that left leg so the left foot's underneath the right glute and the right knee is on top of the left. So it's like a cow pose in our vinyasa class or in our yang class. And we can fold. And we'll be here for 5 minutes. So know that if you're in full shoelace and you're like, I should have done half. There's no yoga police. It's okay to switch. But just know that more feeling doesn't always mean that there's more going on or that it's better. Because we're just surrendering and we're just offering the space for our body. So I'm going to be in half shoelace. Wherever you guys are at, wherever you are is fine. My right knee on top of the left. Feel those sits bones on the floor. Maybe notice along the low back. Maybe the back of the leg a little bit. Of the long leg. And the outer hip of that bent leg. If both legs are bent. Maybe you feel it on your hip, outer hips on both. And try to relax kind of the groin muscles. Sometimes we tend to clench those as we fold. So just relax the back of the leg, relax the hip flexors, relax the groin. And exhale. Our stomach meridian runs along the top of the leg. So if the legs are bent or if one leg is bent, we might be isolating or targeting that stomach meridian. And that's what allows us to get nourishment out of life's experiences. So maybe just be in that space. Allow yourself to be nourished by the experience that you're in right now. Knowing there's no right or wrong. There just is. We're just here. You might find it nice to maybe stack your fists on top of each other on that knee and rest your forehead on your fists or rest your forehead on a block on a knee. Bringing the energy inward, our awareness inward with every breath. Breathing in to the body. Maybe breathing into the discomfort. Just a few more breaths. Maybe counting down Om Shakti. Maybe on each of your fingers 10 times. After your last Om Shakti, just begin to walk the hands kind of back towards the hips. Exhaling as we bring the shoulders over the hips and the hands towards the hips. If you're in full shoelaces, lift that top knee up. If you're in half shoelace, do the same thing, lift it up. Extend that leg long. If you're in full shoelace, sweep that bottom leg out. And then let's find our way onto our backs for our rebound. You can roll to the side and find it, or you can roll back from your seated. Maybe let out a sigh. Let's give ourselves a breath in, a breath out. Then roll over to one side and come up to our seat. There's no rush. This is the time of our day where there's no rush. We can even stay on our backs for the rest of the time, for crying out loud. We can just chill. So we'll do the other side. So I'm going to bring my right leg out, and then my left leg I'm going to bend and bring that left knee on top of the right. That's for half shoelace. You're going to do full shoelace, then bring that right foot towards the left glute. The left knee on top of the right knee. And fold. I'm going to just keep my right leg out long though for half shoelace. You can come into full shoelace. Let the right foot, if it's long on the leg, let it be floppy. If you're in full shoelace, find those sits bones and fold forward. If you're in half shoelace like I am, just fold it forward. And then let this side be its own experience. Doesn't have to be the same. Doesn't have to be different. Just let it be whatever it is. Just let it be. Oh, let out a sigh whenever you need to sigh. Maybe even noticing if you're holding your breath because it feels a little uncomfortable. Just let the breath go and bring your awareness to the breath. Letting the face relax. Notice if you've got any tension that you're holding. Maybe you're making fists with your hands, even relax the palms. Let the elbows kind of dangle and be loose. This pose, another meridian that it supports is that of the spleen. And our spleen governs equanimity. So when it's out of balance, if it's working excessively, we might have some worry. Or we might take on other people's problems as our own. If it's deficient in qi, if our spleen is a little tired, it might be manifested as indifference. Just don't care, we're just indifferent. But when it's in that sweet spot, when it's in balance, you might feel that trust and openness and honesty in our life. So these poses are supporting us on a very emotional level by supporting the proper or maybe optimal functioning physically for these meridians and these organs. Can bring in some equanimity into our space right now. Some openness and trust. And sigh. Let's offer maybe some Om Shaktis. Maybe count them on both of your hands. 2 hands worth of Om Shakti. And whenever you find yourself at the end, that last Om Shakti, walk those hands back towards the hips, lifting the heart, lifting the chest. Reflex the foot, point the toe if the leg was long. If you're in full shoelace or half, lift that top knee up. Extend the leg out. If you're in full shoelace, bring that other bent leg out and bend it long. And let's find our Shavasana, that rebound, and feel that chi just flow through those meridians without any blockage, nothing in its way. And exhale. A few more breaths in our rebound. Now one more breath in. A deep breath out. And then from our backs, let's roll over onto one side. So I'm going to roll over to my right side just for the sake of explaining. So if you want to roll on your right, find your right side. And the right leg, so that's the bottom leg, is going to be long. And then my top leg, which is my left, is going to bend. So it's going to kind of come out. So it's maybe the knee is in line with my hip maybe, okay? And I'm going to prop my head up with my right hand. So I'm going to turn like this so you can see it from this angle. So my hand under my head and my top leg, my left leg out, bent. My right leg is long. And now I'm going to bring my left arm behind me, and my right leg, that bottom leg, is going to bend back. And I'm going to find my right foot with my left hand. Okay, so I'm going to come like this so you can see it. So my bottom right leg comes behind me. My left hand finds the right foot. And if that's not accessible, then just bring that right leg back, kind of kick that foot towards the glute, and the top hand can stay on the hip. Or a cat tail. So I'm going to find my foot with my hand. Maybe rather than your head in your hand, that right hand supporting the head, maybe you bring a pillow down. You can rest your head on a pillow if that's more comfortable. Just offer a little stretch, opening in the front of that right leg. Maybe that left leg, instead of being bent, maybe you want it to be straight out. And you can let that left leg be straight out, that top leg. So let's find our cat tail. We'll be here for about 3 minutes. Maybe you notice a twist in the back. Maybe you notice the outer hip. Maybe you notice the front of the right leg. Wherever you feel it is fine. Just breathe. Some of our Yin Yoga postures we can't wait to get out of, and others we feel like we could stay in for days. Maybe just notice the relationship you have with this pose. And then just be with the pose. Feel the breath in the body. close your eyes and soften your gaze, maybe. About halfway there. Always let go of that foot. If it's too much on the shoulder blade, rest the hand on the rib cage and let the foot just kind of hang out. Offer a deep breath in. Exhale, sigh. And another deep breath in. And exhale to maybe release the foot from the hand. Send that bottom leg, the right leg long. Let's bring our left leg back in towards the middle. Maybe stack it on top of the right. And then roll over onto the back. Let that chi flow. Exhale. Now let's deeply breathe in. Exhale out and roll onto the left side. Unless you just did the left side, then roll onto the other side. But I'm going to roll to my left. I just did my right. I'm going to move my pillow with me. So my left leg is on the bottom. My right leg is bent. And then my left leg comes back and my right hand finds my right foot, pulls it kind of towards the glute or kind of behind me, and my right leg can either be bent or it can be long, and I can rest on a pillow or I can rest with my hand holding my head. We'll be here a few more minutes. Just be. Maybe notice if you have that right leg long, notice if you're holding tension, if you have effort. Maybe just try to let the leg bend and just relax. Come to the earth. Maybe you're noticing it in the outer hip or the back, or the top of that cattail leg that you have with your hand. Just let yourself be. Let out a sigh. Maybe let out another sigh. Now maybe counting down from 5. 4. And 3. 2. And 1. Exhale, release the foot from the hand if you had it in hand. Bend that right leg if it wasn't bent already. Begin to roll onto the back. Maybe move the pillow. Shimmy yourself onto your mat with the legs long. And feel that rebound. And exhale. And now allow yourself to rest in Shavasana. Perhaps you want to bring your knees into your chest or find a happy baby and rock side to side before Shavasana. Let's soften your face and let the eyes fall back into the head. Place your legs long whenever you're ready. Allow yourself some more time to rest. Let the feet fall out or fall in. Let's relax our hips. Pelvis can be heavy. The knees, the legs sink into the floor. The shoulder blades, the entire back. Let the tongue fall from the roof of your mouth. Just be and just surrender. Just let everything go. Just imagine any worries or concerns or cares just puddling into the earth below, just dripping off and running off your being, just pooling into the mat below, and then into the earth where Mother Earth will take care of it. Allow yourself to be nourished and held. Allow that trust to flow through your body. The equanimity to pulse through your body. The creativity and the clarity and the wisdom. Just let it all flow through your body. And exhale, let it be so. Inhale, Om. Exhale, Shakti. Whenever you're ready, I invite you to roll over to one side. There's no rush to get to your side. Allow your head to rest on your arm, maybe the hand kind of scratches the back of your head, along your head. And then we'll press up to a seat. Whatever your seat looks like. Maybe we'll roll the neck a couple times. Let the head be heavy. Maybe resting the head towards the chest. Maybe just rubbing our head with our fingers. Massaging the scalp and just rubbing the face. And then coming to a seat, maybe the head lifts and the hands come to the lap or heart center in prayer. I invite you to inhale in and exhale out. And we'll inhale and exhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Namaste.